up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Chasing HTX Podcast. I'm your host, Envy. As you notice, we actually sound a little bit good today. What you think, Dom?
Sounds great. That intro was really dope too.
Yo, that intro, bro.
Shout out to that producer.
Yeah, shout out to Blaine, man. He's one of the OGs producers in the game. Alright, guys, so on this episode, I bring to you one of the mods of We Own the Night HTX. You can actually follow him on Instagram at Domscarter. Dominique Alexander Carter. Does actually anybody call you like the full name?
No, barely. That's never happened in my life. Yeah, not the full name, no.
Welcome to HTX Podcast.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. I'm so excited. It's really cool that you're doing this, so just happy to be here for sure.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Well, Dominique has now been documenting the city of Houston for about 5 years now. His primary focus is street photography. He enjoys capturing moments of light and shadow. Bro, Tell me about that. How did you came from just shooting street to now like just lights and shadow?
Yeah, so it's crazy because like one of my favorite photographers of all time is Fan Ho, and that's what he really like centers his work around. So like a lot of his photos are black and white. He's done some color, but a lot of his work has been light and shadow stuff. So like I was studying a lot of his work pretty much the whole time I was shooting, but probably like maybe almost 2 years ago I really started like shooting a lot of that stuff on the street, and then ever since then I just been like falling in love with like finding the light, finding like the darkest shadows and just shooting it. It's like really fun to do. So
how do you do that? Because I mean I tried and I suck at it, bro. I've been making those shadows look hella dark. Like your photos are like unique, bro. The way you do your lights and shadows are like, to me, I think they're perfect, but I'm pretty sure you're like, it could be better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're perfect, but I mean the key to like shooting that stuff is time. So like, if you shoot from like 11 to 12 or 11 to 1, like in midday, early in the day, the light's really strong, the shadows are stronger, and then if you like shoot in the afternoon, in the evening when like the sun's coming down, the light's like longer, the light and the shadows are like a lot more stretched out. So it just depends on the time. What I used to do, what I still do now actually, is like if I'm driving around, walking around or something, I'll take a photo of like a scene or whatever, a spot that's like being hit by light. I take it with my phone, and on the phone it tells you like what time you took it.
Oh wow.
So I'll like come back at that time, like, okay, I know the light's gonna hit like this at this spot at this time, so I'm gonna come back, and that's what I pretty much do. And that's like the process that I did for like the book and stuff too. So.
Dang, the book, bro. The book. You do have a book coming out. Tell me about that, bro.
Yeah, it's coming out soon, probably like next couple weeks.
Couple weeks?
Yeah, in a couple weeks. The photos are done. They've been done for a while. I probably like added like a couple more recent ones that I shot, but most of them were done for like the past year. But just like I wanted to hold it off because of 2020, the pandemic and everything. But yeah,
why?
I don't know, because like I didn't have like the money for it, because I actually wanted to put money behind it to like get it put together right, and I was doing like a lot of research on like what publishers to go with and stuff, so it just took me a while to like really figure all that stuff out. So
I do remember this publisher trying to take like $10,000 from you.
It was six grand. Yeah. So, and I'm not gonna lie, I still want to work with them one day.
Oh, for real?
I think the stuff that they do, I'm not gonna name drop them right now, but the work that they put out is really dope. The quality of books that they put out is like incredible. I bought one of their books, and I think it's really good. And the stuff that they do is cool. Like they help promote photographers in different scenes. Like they go to like different museums and art galleries and stuff like that throughout the U.S., primarily in New York. But yeah, one day I definitely want to put out another book with them specifically. But like this first time, I'm just doing like self-publishing. So
is that different? How's that process going?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, the biggest thing is, especially if you don't have a lot of money, is like a lot of these publishers, what they do is like they require you to have like a minimum order quantity. So it's like, for example, like you have to like order 100 books or 50 books or whatever to get like the price cheaper.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to find a publisher where it's like I can just, when someone orders it, then they make it and they send it out. And that's what I did now with the publisher that I'm going with. So it's really, really dope, especially for my first book.
That's how you have it with your shirts, right? Your shirts and your hoodies that you have on your Domscarter.com website.
Exactly. Yeah, because like, like I'm at the point in my life, like I can see myself doing it in the future where I can have like a place to store products and stuff to sell. But right now I'm just focused on more of the photography stuff,
Gotcha.
the art of it, I guess. And so when it comes to like selling the hoodies, the shirts, or even the books, I just want people to like order it, and then they'll get made and they'll get sent out instead of having me having to hold on to like the inventory and stuff, So
I think it's pretty cool holding on to the inventory though.
yeah, I think it is. It just depends, like it's like you need storage or if you have it at your house. I just don't want to have like a bunch of stuff in my house right now. So
That's
yeah,
me,
in the
bro.
future for sure. Like I can see myself either like getting like a warehouse, like thinking big here, but
I feel that, man. You
Yeah.
always got to think big. At
Yeah.
least that's what I always tell myself, man.
Yeah,
If you're
exactly.
thinking too small, then you're thinking too small. Everybody's different. I've noticed
Yeah.
that. I've been in that situation where like I've come across people like, man, you're thinking too big, and I'm like, but you're thinking too small.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, people have different perspectives of life. That's where I've come to a
Yeah.
conclusion. So I
Yeah.
just stay away.
Yeah, I heard this quote recently. It was like, I don't know exactly what it is, but it was like the problem isn't shooting. It's like shooting low and succeeding is worse than shooting high and failing. So it's like, yeah, it's true because you could like, I don't know, like shoot low, you'll succeed, but it's probably better to shoot high and fail because you'll learn more about yourself and whatever process you're trying to go through. So I think about that all the time now. So.
Wait, repeat that again. The quote.
Yeah, it's like the problem isn't shooting low and succeeding. The problem is, or it's like it's better to shoot a high and fail than shoot low and succeed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's pretty much what the.
I mean, I
quote
think
is, more
it's.
or less.
I think I agree with that quote because
Yeah,
I
so
mean
do I.
the
Yeah.
the way I see it is like I think for me in my life I've always been a huge dreamer,
Mm-hmm.
and since I was a kid, and everything I did was like just it was high. Like I mean, yeah, like let's just do it. And we were
Right.
like, why? I was like, dude, if we fail, then we learn from the mistakes. And a lot of people never really understood that from me because I used to tell people like, yo, I love failing,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, what? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I love failing because it teaches me and equips me for like future.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just a weird
Yeah.
way of thinking.
You have to like really structure your mindset that way because at the end of the day, failing isn't fun.
It really
sucks,
isn't,
right?
bro.
So a lot of people obviously want to avoid that, but at the end of the day, you have to acknowledge like it's gonna happen, and when it does, it's gonna be okay. So you just gotta keep moving and just use it as a learning experience.
Yes, I mean, no, you're right. Yeah, because when people used to look at me like, dude, that's a weird thinking. You should not think like that. And I'm like, how should I think? Because I mean, yeah, I want success. Yeah, I want to like be right at something that I want to do, and I want to do it in my best abilities.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that I'm gonna fail. Like for the example, this podcast, I went full out. You
Right.
can tell.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, for sure.
look at the setup and
Yeah,
everything. Like I
yeah.
went full out. I was no half-assing anything. And
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, let's do it. And y'all were like, do it. I'm like, nah, I need to do this full out. Like, y'all were like
Yeah.
encouraging me to do it. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I need to get the equipment, get all this going. And look, now it's finally here. Don't know where this is gonna go, but at least I mean we're having fun with it now.
Yeah, it's good. It's always good to start, no matter what. The first step is always the hardest. So once you do that, everything else becomes a little bit easier as you go along. So,
Bro, not gonna lie, man. I feel like I'm in a radio station. Like,
yeah, no, like before we started, I was like, yo, this sounds really good. The headphones feel great. Like, yeah, the microphone looks dope. So yeah, it feels like really legit. So it's really dope that you're doing this.
Man, yeah, man, guys. Like, I actually bought like mics and some like amplifiers, and like I went full out on this.
Yeah, it's cool.
And got myself a leasing office, guys. I actually got myself an office here in downtown, and this is where we're hosting the podcast, which is makes life so much easier because now I got a spot that I can have host, instead of like,
yeah.
oh, where are we gonna do it today? Like,
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, that's true.
Yo, so I was reading your Facebook. Like I said, I was stalking your Facebook before.
Nardwar. Yeah.
No, but you say I think this was on one of your articles. You were working 2 jobs to support yourself.
Yeah.
Like yourself.
Yeah.
2 jobs. Like why?
Yeah.
Like,
So I graduated high school and then I wanted to go to college. So I got to college and then obviously just weird financial things happened in the family. And so I needed to support myself through school. Like at the time I had like a really beat up car and I needed a new car because it just kept breaking down. So I got a car, started paying that car note, had to pay insurance. Like if you think about like any bills you have to pay for, I had to pay for pretty much. The only thing I didn't have to pay for at that time was like rent because I just stayed at my mom's house, so which was great. But yeah,
oh, you pay rent at your mom's house?
No, that's the only thing I didn't have to pay for. Yeah, everything else I paid for. If you can think about it, like there's a point I had to pay like my medical insurance.
Oh wow.
So yeah, So I had to work 2 jobs. I was working like about 50 hours a week while going to school.
50 hours.
Yeah, so it was crazy, and at the time it sucked, but like looking back now, I'm so happy I went through that because it taught me a lot about money management, time management. Like I appreciated hard work even more, and it just put like this, like now like I could work like a lot of hours and that it doesn't bother me, because I
For
just got
real?
so used to it. Yeah, because I did that for about like it was like 2 to 3 years straight. I did that, so I just got used to working. So now I'm just like when it comes to work, it doesn't. Yeah, sometimes I kind of get tired and I feel the burnout and I'll slow down, but I have like a good stamina, I guess, when it comes to work. So
I feel like
yeah.
that's good because I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like this generation we lazy, bro. Like I feel like now it's on you. Like if
Yeah.
you really want to work and get your body into like not to say workaholic, but like
Mm-hmm.
work. Like
Yeah.
I see my parents, they're still like healthy and they're pretty old and like
Yeah.
it's because of work.
Yeah. And it comes down to the type of work you do. Like, yeah, like when I did the 2 jobs, I was working at Discount Tire during the week, and then I was a waiter on the weekend. So it was a lot of physical, just moving
That's some
around all the
patience
time.
right there, bro, at the
Yeah,
waiter.
yeah, for sure. And that taught me a lot about people and just the psychology about just those dynamics, talking to people and customers and stuff like that. So yeah, it was intense for
You
sure.
got some crazy stories as a waiter.
Not crazy, but I remember one time, and it was funny. This lady, she was like, "Oh, can you return my fish? It's too fishy." And I was
What?
like, I don't know what you mean, but what like I was like, what do you mean it's too fishy? He's like, yeah, it's just too fishy. Like, does it taste like the ocean? Like, I don't know. Like, and I just ended up like switching it out for chicken. But I thought that was funny. There's like I did it for like 5 years because that was like my first job when I was like 17, and I kept doing it. But can't think of anything on top of my head. But yeah, it was just weird stuff.
Crazy, bro. 2 jobs. Like
Yeah,
I've never had 2 jobs. I'm gonna be honest. So
yeah.
I don't know how it feels. So
I
this
mean,
is
yeah.
one thing I cannot relate.
Yeah, I mean, I got used to it. Like, damn, like I don't know, like my only day off was like Wednesday, which is a weird day to be off because I worked on the weekends too. But
That is a weird day to be off.
yeah,
Wednesday.
hump day. It's a
Hump
weird
day.
day. But yeah, I don't know. I just got after a while because you get used to a routine. Just like waking up, going to class, going to work. I got used to it, so I just kept going.
And that for you, that void started happening to you. Like you couldn't
Yeah.
feel that void.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you did do your research, didn't you? Yeah. So after a while, like, yeah, I kept working, and I was going to school. I was getting good grades and everything. I was just on top of everything as much as I could, but there was like something missing. I knew I wanted to do something else, something more creative, because growing up, I played a lot of video games and made like YouTube videos in high school of like video
YouTube
games.
videos. What?
Yeah, I did like a lot of Call of Duty trick shotting stuff. Shout out
Yo,
to
where are those
guys.
videos at, bro?
They're on YouTube actually. If you look up Domscarter, actually it'll come up. But yeah, I did that. I did like a lot of writing too. So I always had like a creative mind and everything. So I wanted to do something along those lines. And I had a camera. Like the first camera I had was the Canon T6i. And
Better than the Rebel, bro.
yeah, the Rebel series is dope. But yeah, that was a good camera to start with for sure. And then like I had that camera, and what I started doing with it at first, like one of my best friends, he was a part of like this car crew. So it was like go to car meets and stuff like that all the time. So I would take photos of like cars and then their cars, and they would post it and stuff like that. That's how I started like really taking photos. And then like I was at UHD, and then I met Uriel. Shout out to him, Fallen One. He was like the first person that really like opened my eyes to like photography in that sense of like street and city and stuff like that.
It's because y'all went to the same school.
Yeah, because we had the same class, and I forgot how we started to become friends. We became good friends, and then me and him started like going out and shooting in the city and stuff. And so I just got like hooked to that whole going out, exploring, shooting, going home, editing it in like Lightroom and stuff, and I just got like addicted to it.
How did you find me?
You?
Yes.
And you know what's crazy? Like the fact that I'm sitting here with you right now is crazy because yeah, like when I first started, I was following like you, Jay Bun, Zach, Bazillions, like all the original guys from Houston and stuff. And I used to be like the hugest fans of you guys for sure.
That's crazy.
And then I remember, and we talked about this too, like the Lens Bangers, like meet, like the
brings
first
memories.
photo meet I ever been to. I was
For
like,
real? That
yo,
was your first photo
the one
meet?
where it was like under UHD and stuff, and everyone was like following each other. It was like
Oh,
a
yeah, I
huge
do
crowd,
remember that.
and like Skate High was like one of the main hosts, obviously, and so that like blew my mind. I was like, yo, this is like for real. Like people actually like do this thing, So yeah, I found your Instagram, and I just started following you, And then yeah, I was just like always like loved your work from like day one. So
That's
been a
crazy.
huge fan since the beginning.
'Cause
So
I remember you telling me, man, yeah, I'm a huge fan of your work, and I'm like,
yeah,
damn,
it's
like
crazy, right?
it doesn't really click to me, to be honest, that
Mhm.
actually people are actually seeing your work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure now you can feel that way, as you progress in your photography career.
Mhm.
People, they love your work. I mean, I became a fan of your work, especially with this
Appreciate it.
light and shadows. Like
Yeah, it's
that's a
dope.
whole new vibe right there.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you keep doing this, it's like I'm not saying you're doing it to blow up or nothing, but
Mhm.
like if you keep doing this, I'm pretty sure you enjoy it. You seems like you enjoy it because you're there at the perfect time, bro.
Yeah,
I try
yeah.
to
I
aim
take
that and
it.
I can't,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
You play that waiting game,
Yeah.
waiting game sounded
Yeah.
like waiting, but no, waiting game for the
Mhm.
light and shadows. So
Yeah.
like just the dedication that you put into that, I think it can go far, bro. It can
Yeah.
go far.
That's definitely where I see myself really taking my work a lot more serious. As far as crafting like a certain like style and image and telling a certain like story with the photos is around that theme. So yeah, I'm excited to explore that even more.
Bro, you went to Bel Air High School, bro.
Yeah, I did go to Bel Air High School. Yeah, you did your research. Nardwar, for real. Yeah, I
No,
did.
it's funny because I didn't know about Bel Air until I was graduating high school,
Mm.
and that's when I like what there's Bel Air, like because
Mm.
Bel Air was known, but back then when I was going to high school, Bel Air was known for like the best school ever,
Yeah.
and they were known for their arts and
Yeah.
like their dancing and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
So back then, I was a dancer, so I'm like, what? I'm about to graduate, and I didn't know about this
Yeah.
dance school.
Yeah,
So
it was a really cool school. The thing I loved about Bel Air the most is like the diversity. I had like
yes,
a lot of Asian friends, white friends, black friends, Hispanic friends. Like I had friends like different races, cultures. So I got to learn about different people and cultures and stuff like that. And I'm still friends with those people to this day.
it's
So
crazy.
yeah, I think that was like the best thing about Bel Air. It was like really diverse. It was cool.
What year did you graduate?
2014.
14,
Yeah.
12. Yeah, I graduated in 012, the end of the world.
Oh yeah, 2012. Yeah, I remember that. That's
I
crazy.
used to tell myself, man, if we graduate, at least we died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. So did it change over the years, or is it still like a smart school? Because I keep hearing, it's not anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because at the time when I went there, yeah, it was like really tough, and I was glad I went to that school too because it prepared me for college. Like actually, because yeah,
I hear that's
like
what that school does.
the assignments were pretty tough, and I took some AP classes, like advanced classes, so they prepared me for college for sure. But yeah, I've been hearing about that too, where like I don't know, like the standards of the school started dropping, and they started like just letting anyone graduate. I don't know. Like I started hearing weird stuff. I don't know if it's all true, but I don't know, rumors. And they just tore down the old school now, and it's been there since like the 50s or something, the 40s. I don't know exactly, but it's been there for a long time. and they
Crazy
just tore it
because
down.
like for me, bro, like even if you pass the exam and you didn't sign up for college, you
Mhm.
did not graduate in my high school.
Like exam, like you talk about like the tax,
The
like
tax,
oh yeah,
the
yeah,
taxes,
like the state
like
mandate
hey,
stuff.
like
Yeah,
you graduate, but you technically don't graduate because the school doesn't give you your diploma and doesn't like sign it, whatever.
Yeah,
if you
those-
don't apply for college.
those tests suck, man. Those tests are awful. Like I don't know, I hated those tests. They're terrible.
Yo, so Slipknot.
Oh
You
yeah.
were a drummer.
Yeah.
I did not see that one coming, bro.
Oh yeah. Yeah, shout out to Slipknot. Yeah, I started drumming when I was like in 6th grade, so junior
still
high
drum?
school. A little bit, not really. I feel like if I were to hop on a kit, I can probably still do something. But yeah, like I was like all through middle school, I was on the drum line and stuff. And then
Damn.
for like when I got to Bel Air, the first 2 years I wasn't playing in band anymore. I was like in wrestling for the first 2 years.
You did wrestling?
Yeah, I did wrestling for my freshman and sophomore year, and
Yeah, you
then
need to show me those photos.
yeah, I'm probably not gonna show you that. But anyways, yeah, the last 2 years of high school, I went back to band. So yeah, like my junior year of high school, I was in the jazz band, so I was playing drum set, and then like yeah, Slipknot. Like I'm into like all types of music in general, and I just love like metal and rock and roll and stuff. So I got into them heavy when I was like 13, and then shout out to Joey Jordison. He just passed away. He was like the founding member and like the original drummer.
Yeah.
He was like my favorite drummer ever. His energy was like ridiculous when he was playing. So
That's crazy.
yeah, it was dope.
Bro, so you're from Panama.
Yep.
And I didn't know that. I thought you were just like, like a black guy
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
Houston.
For sure, yeah.
And yeah, he's black, by the way.
Yeah, I'm black.
And then one thing you surprised me that you know Spanish.
Yeah, a little bit.
Nah. You know Spanish.
Okay, I'll say I know it, so I understand it, but just speaking it is rough. Because I moved from down there when I was I got here when I was like 5. I was really young.
Okay,
and
so you didn't live your whole life over there.
Nah, I like moved here when I was really young, and then my mom had to work a lot, so I was just at school all the time. And then it was interesting growing up because I'm black, so the way I looked, I just I guess like the black kids just gravitated towards me, so I picked up English really quickly, and then my Spanish started going away because I wasn't practicing it enough.
But your parents speak Spanish.
Yeah, so yeah, like my mom would speak to me in Spanish, and I would respond to her in English. That's just the relationship we have, and even though she knows English, that's just how it was, and it still is to this day sometimes.
Yeah, because I met your parents and they were talking to
Yeah,
me in Spanish.
my mom, she was like telling you, like, yeah, speak to him in Spanish. He needs to practice. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, so that's
I
just
thought
how
that
it
was
is.
funny because then
Yeah.
after that, I just been messing with you in
Yeah,
Spanish.
I know. You and everybody else in the group.
That was my fault because I started telling people, he knows Spanish, right? It's like, and it
Yeah.
was like, what?
And then they look, yeah, it's crazy. I love that because like growing up is you look the way like that I do, and no one
Yeah.
expects that, so it's
Was
really
it hard
cool.
for you though? So now, for because I mean I'm not black as you
Mhm.
can tell. So like your culture was it?
Yeah,
Did you ever deal with some racism? Now that you know.
a couple. Like I feel like I was lucky growing up. I think our generation got, like I said, I grew up with like diversity throughout,
Gotcha.
even middle school, elementary school, up to high school. Yeah, I've had some weird run-ins with cops, but not like nothing too big.
Wow.
But yeah, it was always kind of strange growing up because I'm technically like Latino, but I'm black, so finding like that identity was always kind of weird for me. But I eventually like made friends with like black kids and Hispanic kids anyway, so I kind of just made my own identity over time. So
Was that like? Were you ever confused of yourself
Yeah.
in life?
Yeah, I
Like,
was for a while. I was because I just like I don't know because I would go home and I hear Spanish music, hearing everyone in my family speaking Spanish, and then when I go to school, I felt like even when I was younger, like we were kids, so people don't really know any better. Like I feel like the Hispanic kids were like not really like welcoming, but the black kids were, obviously because the way I look.
That's crazy.
So I think I just gravitated more to like the black side of myself. I don't know if that makes sense. And then it wasn't until I got older until like I started embracing more of my like Hispanic culture.
Were you proud of
So-
that or no?
What, like a Hispanic culture?
With both.
Yeah, I think when I was young, it was weird, but now I am like I'm extremely proud of where I'm from and the culture and the country and my family and everything. So yeah, it was weird growing up for sure.
Damn. And now as a photographer, being who you are,
Mm-hmm.
does it change your perspective of life?
Yeah, photography has opened my eyes to life in general. It just made me like appreciate life in general. Like, and I just think like especially the things that we shoot, you're like really paying attention to like detail. You're looking at everything all the time. So I appreciate so much more about life in general, and I just like it made me focus more on the things that are important. So yeah, photography's given me like a lot. Just taught me a lot of lessons too. So it's been great.
Do the people look at you different as a photographer?
What do you mean, like?
Like for example, me, they'll look at me like, I mean, I'm Latino,
Mhm.
and they're like, okay, cool, he's good,
Mm-hmm.
because me and you, we do street photography,
Mhm.
and then when I'm walking by myself with my camera, I do get a lot of eyes on me
Yeah.
here and there, but but I feel like I don't think not as much as I don't know. Like, do you get a lot of eyes?
Yeah. Well, I'll ask you this: Is it happen here in Houston or just in general? Like, where does it happen more for you?
Oh, outside of Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say because, and we talk about this too, like in Houston, there's not a whole lot of photographers here. Like there is, but not out and about in the streets. So we always get those weird looks like, oh, what are they doing? Because they're not used to seeing photographers out in downtown like that. But yeah, I've never had weird looks. Sometimes it's more of like people are just curious. They're not like,
Gotcha.
oh, like what are you doing? It's like, oh, what are you guys doing? It's like more curiosity. So.
Bro, I've been calling the cops just because I was Latino.
Really?
Like, yeah, and it's like, but this happens outside of Texas though. Like, I just went to like, like a rich neighborhood, and then
Oh well, yeah.
and I was hitting some bandos, and
Right.
I was like, dude, the only way to get inside is a abandoned church. We have to go through this,
Mm-hmm.
and Keisha, now we had to like open what's it called, the where the water falls into
Like the sewer,
the
like
sewage. Yeah,
okay.
but the lines where it's like the lines like this, and you can pick it up.
Oh, I think you know. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like the drainage.
The drainage,
thing.
yeah. So we had to pick one of those. We had to pick.
That's re-
we
wow.
had to pick one of those, but it was pretty big. So like it could fit like probably like 4 people. It was pretty big.
Yeah.
And we had to pick one of those. Of course, it was gonna make sound. And, you know, me, you can tell I'm not that strong when it comes to that. So we needed like at least 3 people.
Right.
So we're picking it up and like sliding it over. 3 Latinos, bro. No, actually, you had a Latino, you had an Asian guy, and then you had another Latino. Yeah. So we're picking an Asian guy and a white girl. And so it was a 3 different race, and we're picking it up, and then you can tell like these people were calling the cops on us, and I kid you not, the cops came like right away. We had to leave, but
I mean, yeah, like I've been in those situations like recently, probably like a month ago. It was me, Jeff, Tyler, and Philip. We were together, and we were in like Pasadena. We were taking photo of like this old like
the worst
retro,
place to shoot it.
this like old retro like McDonald's sign. And I was like off the side of the road, and I had my tripod set up because it was at night. And then the cop like pulled up on me. He was asking me like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Like, you know, someone called, and you know, we've been in situations like that too. So it just depends on where you are. Like, it's like where you are. Yeah, the way you look definitely plays a part in that
It's
too.
sad.
Fortunately, but it is what it is. Like,
I mean,
you just gotta handle the situation the best you can.
Me and you, my girl, Jeff.
Yeah.
Who else?
It was just us.
Oh, it was us. Like, yeah, guys, like some ladies called the cops on us.
Yeah.
And we were like legit outside taking photos. We had our tripods out, right? And then we had our cameras, and Jeff and I were taking photos. And then there was a gas station across from it, and we're like, you know, let's go to the gas station. We're pretty hungry, and we go in the gas station and order food like normal people. We order food, you know, and then as the boys, we end up going to the restroom, and you know, we had to do the boys thing, you know, go to the restroom. Next thing you know, a big cop just decides to come in and goes to my girl, and she's like, "Hey, are you okay?" My girl's like, "What do you mean?" Like, you know, it's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." He's like, "Yeah, we got multiple calls."
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're being harassed or are you being kidnapped. One of those.
Yeah.
And my girl's like, "No, I'm okay." And she's like, and then we are coming back into the lobby. Was it Wendy's?
Ah, damn. I don't remember where it was, but it was some fast food restaurant.
Well, we were coming back into the lobby, and we're like, we see the cop with my girl. I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" So then, you know, our cop asks us for a driver license. Of course, we give him a driver license. And then the cop's like, "Yeah, we got multiple calls, and you have like AK-47s." And we're like,
Yeah.
"What?" It's like, no, we're a bunch of like kids, you know, we're
Yeah.
photographers. And the cop didn't believe us. He's like, "Can I see your," you know how cops are, "Can I see your vehicles?" Of course. And we're like, "Yeah, come on, let's go." We opened the car. He legit just saw backpacks, tripods, cameras. He got so mad that the people who called the cops were actually there waiting for us to get arrested.
They were watching.
With their cameras on their hands. And next thing you know, the cop goes up to them and yells at them. That's when we knew it was them.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. And the funny thing about that story was like, me, I'm black, you're Hispanic, Jeff is Asian, and then your girlfriend's white. So it's like we had like the full spectrum right there, pretty much. So yeah, that was a funny day.
No, dude. So as you notice, bro, I'm repping your shirt, bro.
Yes, appreciate it. Yeah, shout out to Carlos. He's on the shirt with the shoes there. So,
you have a shirt and hoodie, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still selling those?
Yeah, I am. They're on the website. Yeah.
Bro, do you
Just
still
have-
skateboard?
A little bit. I just cruise on my board. I don't do nothing crazy. Shout out to all the skateboarders out there. Like, I respect and love that sport so much. I wish I got into it when I was younger, but yeah, that sport is like so dope to me.
What happened when you and Elvis were going to that helipad and then the helicopter decided to pop up?
Oh yeah. I think it was me, Elvis, and I think Jeff was with us too. Yeah, we were shooting on this like building that just opened up, so people were there, and we just decided to go to the top of it. So we made it up to the top. Everything was still open. We opened like it was like the door to the top, and then you get out to the helipad, and then we were just shooting. Like the sunset was cool, and then like a helicopter, we see it like hovering over. We're like, oh, like we at first we saw it kind of coming from a distance. It was like, oh yeah, whatever. It's not coming this way, but it started getting closer, and we're like, oh, we should probably leave. So like we ended up just leaving. But yeah, that day was funny. Damn, that was like
helicopter ever showed up? Or?
Yeah, like so I don't know, like it. I don't know if it landed, but it was getting really close. Like we just got out of there.
You can feel the wind.
Yeah, we saw it pretty close to us. We just left. But yeah, that was a funny day.
Bro, you got caught by security or officer in Chicago?
It was a maintenance guy in Chicago.
Maintenance guy? That's even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, so
he was bored out of his life then.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. Was it 2019? It was a group of us from here, from Houston, like Ray, Hidalgo, and then Jeff, and then me. So we got on the spot.
Why is it that group always getting caught? You noticed that,
I
right?
don't know. Yeah, it's always
just
Jeff,
that
right?
group.
The Jeff is always shout out to Jeff, bro. Shout out to Jay Chin. He's always the constant. But no, yeah, we got on the spot. We yeah, that whole trip was insane. Like that whole Chicago trip was probably one of the best experiences ever. But that day in particular, we already hit that spot before. So we wanted to go back again, and then so we went back. We got up on the top, and then we were up there for like 5 minutes, and then like the maintenance guy shows up. He's like super pissed off. He's like, "How'd you guys get up here?" And we're like, "Oh, everything like the door was open. Like we just went up. You know, we're just taking photos or whatever." And then we were just telling him like, "Hey, we don't want any trouble. We're not even from here. We're from Houston." He's like, "I don't care. Like, are the cops already on their way? Blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh, come on." So like, he walks us down to like the manager's office. And all the managers were like really cool. They were like, "Oh, you guys were just taking photos." We're like, "Yeah, like we're sorry. Like we just wanted to take photos. We were just like traveling. We're from Houston." He's like, "Okay, you guys can leave." We're about to leave, and the maintenance guy stops. He's like, "No, no, they're all like the cops are already like almost here or whatever." And so like, oh my god. And so the cops show up. We're talking to
Oh,
the
they
cops.
actually show up?
Yeah, the cops showed up.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking to the cops, and then they were cool too. Like we showed them our camera gear, and they're like, "Oh, okay, you guys are just taking photos. Like that's fine, you know." But then he's like, no, arrest them. Like they need to go or whatever.
It's
and
not
then,
even his job. Like, it's not even
yeah.
his, like, he's the owner. Like,
yeah,
you know
I
what
don't know.
I'm
That
saying?
maintenance guy. And it's funny, like when I talk to other photographers, it's like it's always the maintenance guy. For some reason. It's not even security, it's like maintenance. But
I feel like they're just bored out of their job. Like, they hate their job, so they're going to do, like,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. And so like yeah, he was pressing the cops to like arrest us like really hard, and it looked like they're like the cop, one of them, he pulled out the handcuffs and paperwork, and I was like, "Are you serious right now? Like for this?" But then the other cop was like, "No, no, no, like that's too much. Like let's just like let them go with the warning because it's like they're not even from here. They're gonna have to like fly back to Chicago just to like, you know, go to court and stuff." And so we got like a warning from like the management, and they're all being cool about it. And so the maintenance guy was like, "Y'all got lucky tonight." I was like, "Really?" So I was like, "Whatever." So we left. But yeah, that was a crazy experience for sure. Like everyone, it was just so funny how like management, cops, like they're all being super cool. Like they were just
Y'all were in
not
a
tripping.
big, huge group, too.
Yeah, we were rolling pretty deep. And then there's just that one maintenance guy. He was just like, no, his eyes were like popping out of his head. He was so angry. But
I feel like if it was just, like, one or two people, they would have, like, tore you up. Nasty.
yeah, maybe, I don't know. I think it's also because like I remember I pulled one of the cops to the side, and we had like a really good conversation. Like he was cool, so he was just like, yeah, like it's not a big deal. You know, and Chicago cops have more pressing things to worry about than like a group of photographers trying to take photos. So, yep. So that was that. But that trip was insane.
Damn. So this year you actually started shooting film.
Yeah.
And that's been your main focus, just film and a little bit of digital, correct? Unless right now you just bought yourself
Yeah, right.
a
Yeah, just
mirrorless
bought a
camera.
Mirrorless Canon.
But let's talk before the mirrorless. So
Yeah.
you were just shooting straight film.
Yeah, so I started shooting film. I think it was like 2020, really. Yeah, so one of my friends from college, he's a DJ. Shout out to Aaron. I'm just shouting out everybody because I love all my friends and my homies. But yeah, shout out to Aaron. He gave me a film camera because one of his clients like had a bunch of old film gear in like his attic, and he gave it to him, and he gave it to me. And so I had it sitting there for a while, and then I just started like, you know what, let me try like shooting film, and then started like buying rolls and shooting it. And I always tell people if you're gonna start shooting film, you're gonna get addicted to it because it's really addicting. So like, yeah, I started shooting in like 2020. I have like the Canon A1, and then yeah, just been shooting with that, mostly 35 millimeter.
I think it's only addicting if you fall in love with it.
Yeah.
Because I shoot film, but I'm not addicted to it.
Right. I think it's just the reason why I like it so much is because of the process. Like digital, obviously everything's a lot quicker. You take the shot, you can look at it, go home, edit it, post it really quick. But with film, it's like everything's so much slower. And this is like the cliche thing all film shooters say. It's like
It's just too much money, bro.
it is, and that's the thing why recently I've been like slowing down a little bit. I have so many rolls. I'm like sitting on like probably 15 rolls that I haven't gotten done yet, at least. And that's just because like I know I'm gonna have to drop like a couple $100s just to get all those done. But
How much have
Yeah.
you dropped already that you know on film?
on film, I have no idea. The number, I don't know. I've shot so much
Make
film.
a guess. Of all the
At least, let me think about
of
that.
all the films you bought and the developing, now that we both have friends that can develop, it makes it easier. But
yeah,
like
I
before,
would say like maybe like at least $1,000.
oh, fuck.
Maybe I would say bare minimum if I'm really thinking about it. Yeah, because that's a lot of rolls.
So what if when you were starting film, you're like, hey, this guy comes up to you and he's like, hey, you need to do film. So, and you're like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be like, yeah, it's going to cost you $1,000. Will you take it or no? You probably wouldn't because
Nah.
you're not like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I
But,
mean,
but
yeah, I don't know.
I think that's how they get us.
It's just over time. You know, it's like,
Well, the film rolls are super cheap.
yeah, it's just the developing. It's what costs the most. Developing and the scanning.
I still
But
got like 10 rolls I don't want to develop.
yeah, I'm sitting on so many right now. But film is fun. Like, yeah, it's just the process is fun, and just shooting and then not being able to see the photo right away. I don't know. There's just something about that. It just makes you focus more on just like the actual shooting over than just like the photo, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
So.
Have you actually developed your own film?
Nah, not at all. But I want to learn. Like all the homies, like they're starting to. Like people are like, we know they're definitely like starting to do it themselves. So I want to learn for sure.
What about have you printed your film?
Yeah, like the film photos. Yeah, I've printed them before.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
How
but
did they come out?
they come out good. And the thing is, like, I'm not too technical on like the proper way to print film. I just
Yeah.
print them normally, like I would for like a digital print. And they come out fine. They come out great. So
Does it hit
Yeah.
you different in a digital print or no?
um,
Be honest, bro.
I don't
Be
know.
honest.
That's a really good question. I think I don't know. I think it just depends. At the end of the day, with any photo, it just depends on what the subject is. But yeah, it doesn't really hit me any differently. I think, like I said, it's just the process is what I love about it. It's not really like the photo itself. It's just the process. But yeah, you know, there's like this film has like a certain look to
Yeah.
it, you know? So it
I
looks
think
more
that's what bothers me
realistic in a sense.
because I'm like, I want to have my own edits. You know, it's a film like
kind of
takes-
prevents you
Yeah.
from doing that. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's different, you know. Like
Yeah.
some people shoot because it looks like the 1800s or 1900s,
Like old school,
you know,
super old school, yeah.
which is cool, you know. You're bringing back the old school.
yeah.
I don't know. I just been in a habit of like I wanted my style, and it's
Mhm.
just
Yeah, I know. That's true. And digital definitely gives you that flexibility to do that. So
Have you dealt with depression and anxiety as a creative?
not depression. I've always been really anxious growing up. I've always been a really anxious kid. I still kind of suffer with anxiety a little bit, but not as much as I used to, just because I've gotten more calm in my life overall. But yeah, I've always just been really anxious, and I think especially when I was in college, I was like super stressed and like anxious all the time because I was like working a lot, going to school. I was in a relationship, so I was like juggling all these things and trying to make sure I was like on top of everything. So I was always really, really anxious. So yeah, even when I was like growing up, I was anxious. Like, and that's why like with the whole video games thing came. I was like, I'm naturally like I'm an introverted person, so it just made me really like reserved growing up. I just wanted to play video games and not go outside. So I just like all my friends from school, they all play video games too. So yeah, I was like super like inclusive to myself.
Will you consider us as an introvert if we play video games? Because we are talking to people.
Yeah.
I think it's the fact of us talking to people in person.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. Like I've gotten way better at that now, obviously as I gotten older. But yeah, when I was younger, I was like, I don't know, it was weird. Like I hated like talking to people in person. I hated like I remember having school presentations. I would get like bad anxiety. Like it would be terrible. But yeah,
I'll get so excited for them, and then I'll be like, I can't.
I'm
do
the
it.
opposite. Like I would get super anxious leading up to it, but when I'm like doing the presentation, like it goes away. But
My knees start shaking, bro.
yeah, no, and I've dealt with like hyperhidrosis too. Like I sweat a lot on my hands.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, so like yeah, it's just it got really bad. But I've gotten better with it over time, and the thing about video games too, like it was a huge part of my life. It made like making friends a lot easier. Like all my friends, like we all played Xbox Live together. So
Nice.
yeah, that's how I was able to like make a really core group of friends I'm still like friends with to this day. So
What were the 3 things that you said that once you start getting rid of it, your anxiety started going down? So what was like the 3 main key factors that really made it like, damn, I didn't know this was actually giving me anxiety?
oh, like what helped me like deal with
Yeah.
it? Yeah, so recently, especially this past year, and I've kind of been on this mindset a lot even before. I've gotten to like into stoicism a lot. And stoicism is this like philosophy pretty much like having this mindset like everything outside of yourself is out of your control. You can only focus on what you can do and the things
That's
you
a hard
react to.
mindset to like get to, you know?
Right.
I think so.
Yeah, because I thought about like, okay, why am I so anxious? Like, what are the things I'm worried about? So I started listing them out and kind of thinking about it like, okay. And then stoicism is like, it kind of teaches you like, if you were to like, all the things like you're worried about and anxious, if you were to like lose those things or like those things like actually happen, would it actually be that bad? Like, really, like, And then it's like one of my favorite quotes I told you. It's like, if it doesn't harm you, if it doesn't, it can only bring you harm if it harms your character.
Hmm.
So it's like a rough quote from Marcus Aurelius. He's one of the main Stoic philosophers, and that just made me think about like, yeah, if I were to lose like all my money, all my cars, like lose everything, or my cars and just anything that I'm so anxious about losing, or my grades drop or whatever. Like at the end of the day, like as long as I'm me and I'm myself and like my character is still intact, it literally doesn't matter. I can literally lose everything and I'll still be fine. So
How do you stay in that character mindset?
I don't know.
That to me, like that seems really hard, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I just focus. Like I said, I just focus on what I can control. Like I can't control the weather. I can't control how people are going to react to something I say or how people act or like people treat you every day. You just gotta really focus in on.
Takes
I
practice.
can only literally control what I do. Everything else I have no control over. So once you really do that and separate yourself from everything else around you, you start to like worry less.
How long did it take you to get to that point?
Um, honestly, just it was recent, like because I graduated college, 2020 in August, so I was anxious up to that, like so anxious and stressed out. So like this
The
past
college
year,
was the one giving you anxiety.
yeah, it was just like college, everything, bro, college, work, like just everything that was going on in my life at the time, and photography definitely helped me out with that too. Like I would just go out and shoot, and literally everything I would worry about would just go away. I would
You're,
not
like,
even
coping?
think about it. Yeah, like it just helped me just. I would just focus on taking photos. Like everything
Wow.
else literally didn't matter. So, yeah, recently I'm at the point now in my life where I'm just like, I'm literally not worried about, like, there's only a certain amount of things I'm worried about, and I'm a pretty chill person overall. And it really takes something big to really get under my skin because I'm just
Yeah.
like, at the end of the day, like, it literally doesn't matter. So things don't really matter as hard as people, we put so much emphasis on things. So,
Yeah, cause how do you deal with if you're in a heated moment? How
Mhm.
will you act?
I just stay calm. Like I don't know. It depends on what it is. Like I said, it's just like why would I get upset over something? Like it has to be something really 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 major for me to get really upset. But for the most part, I'm just like, eh, shrug it,
Gotcha.
keep it moving.
Have you dealt as a creator? Have you dealt with Roblox?
Yeah, all the time. Like creative roadblocks or like what's the word? Like you're just not.
Call it the black hole.
Yeah, there's another word for it people always use. I just can't think of it right now. But yeah, it's just like creating. You're not as creative, or you're in that roadblock. But what I do is like, and I always tell people, you got to switch it up. Like try something else. And like that's what film did for me too.
Mm.
It's just switched it up because you hit a roadblock because it's like you feel like either you've already done everything you wanted to do in that certain lane,
Okay.
or it's like you can't do anything else. You feel like you can't, so you just gotta switch lanes, do something else, and then you'll get out of that.
Do you think it's easier to get a roadblock here in Houston, Texas, than it is
Oh
in New
yeah,
York City?
1,000%, bro. And I think that's like the biggest thing with like shooting in Houston is like those cities are spoiled, man. Like I mean, New York and Chicago, like I've been there, and I'm like, yeah, these guys are like they're just spoiled for choice, especially like the street photography stuff. Like there's people all over the place. Everyone's like, different characters, different personalities, so you're able to like shoot all the time. In Houston, if you're able to shoot street photography, it's like wow. Like I applaud you because it's hard. Like our street traffic isn't that intense or dense as it is in those cities, and it's like um our city's like relatively new compared to those cities, so it's very like clean. So there's not really like that grit, like
Yeah.
dirt that we like to shoot. So yeah, Houston is if you shoot here, you're gonna definitely be challenged, which
Yeah,
is good.
challenge, which is good. But yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to say why I said but. Um, I think Houston well, at least for me, my perspective, I think Houston has helped me be more creative.
Yeah, me too. I agree 1,000%. Yeah, because it's like I said, like especially in New York, it's like you literally everywhere you look, every corner, there's something interesting to shoot, right? So you're just like shooting away burst mode on your camera. But here it's like since we don't have that, you have to really think about okay, like what can I shoot? What should I shoot? You really think more about the process and thinking about like different spots or locations or ideas that you can explore because you have to. We don't have like that choice here to really do a bunch of stuff. So you have to kind of make it happen yourself.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
What is one of like your biggest failures in life?
Wow, I don't know. Biggest failure. I know I have some, but I just can't think of it right now. Cause like when it comes to failure, like I mess up, I fail, I learn, and I just move on. I don't even think about it anymore. So
That's
it's like
crazy.
I can't even think of one right now. I know I have some, but it's like I just let it go.
I applaud you for that because for me, I can't. I think about it
Mm.
over and over. Like I analyze it. I'm like, oh, what could I've done right or what could I've done wrong? And then I think about like, all right, it could have gone this way, and then if it went this way, it could have gone this way, and then if it went this way, like my
Yeah,
mind just
yeah,
wonders, and it
an
takes
avid
me,
overthinker. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
like that too. But I just think like I don't
and then
know.
it calms down
Yeah,
afterwards.
I fail and I learn from it and I just move on. The only time you would feel like you failed is if you're like doing like a shoot, like a paid shoot, or you're working with a company.
Okay.
Like you mess up and they'll tell you like you messed up. But with like your personal stuff, it's like yeah, you make mistakes, but it's like who is it really hurting? You know, it's like you're hurting yourself, yeah, but you can always go back and redo it. So it's not really a failure. It's like a learning experience. With photography, I think the only time you can ever say like, oh, I messed up is like you did a paid shoot and the photos didn't come out good or something.
That's some crazy thinking right there, bro. Cause
Yeah.
like I said, me, I wouldn't have thought about that. I'm like, damn, I felt like
Really? So
it.
like if you like for example like if you went to like a bando or something, you took photos and you look back like dang like the photos weren't good, you feel like you failed at that time?
I feel like yeah, I just trashed it, bro.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. I
like
don't know.
I was start getting not like too mad at myself, but I'm
Mm.
like, damn, bro. Like I went through all that just for me not to get some good
Yeah, I get
photos.
that.
And then
Yeah.
I'll get mad at myself, like, dude, what the heck? What happened?
Mhm.
And I'm like,
Yeah. But
I,
yeah, in that sense like you're internalizing it, but it's like
that's what I'm saying. The way you're thinking is pretty like
yeah, you
fascinating.
can always just go
'Cause-
back and redo it. And with photography and especially it's like you know, we've all been there. We start and we all like a lot of our early photos are pretty crappy. You know, I even look back now like, damn, what the hell was I doing? But it's like I'm so proud of myself because I was able to like, wow, actually, because that was like my main goal with photography. I just wanted to get good because like I saw you and like everyone else that I followed that was like from here in Houston, and I was just like, man, their photos are so good. I just want to like be able to take those quality photos. So that was like my main goal. Like,
Disco, bro. That's where my edits came from. I'm playing.
yeah, just YouTube and then just watching people and like learning from you guys. And then like shout out to Chris JLN,
Dude, for
especially.
real.
He's insane. But shout out to the homie. But
Homie's crazy with imagination, bro.
bro, he's an artist, man.
I
He's
don't
an
consider him a
artist.
photographer.
Me
I
neither.
consider him an artist, bro.
Yeah, and I learned a lot from him, especially just about patience and stuff like that when it comes down to photography. But yeah, just that was like my goal. Like I didn't really care about like followers or likes or anything like that. It was just like I like to like share my work and show people, but my whole thing was I just want to get better. I want to like feel the growth and see the growth. And like photography now is just giving me like obviously you guys like really good friends of mine now, some of my best friends, amazing memories, crazy stories. And I'm looking back at like all these photos like I took and I'm like, wow, like I did that, you know what I mean? So it's like that's like the biggest gift that like this art is like given to me.
So now that you're at pro, you've been in it 5 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What is one thing that you wish you would have known as a photographer, like before you began your photography career?
I don't know, like just to be more patient, I guess. I was like, I think I was like really in a rush. I remember, and I think it was just because of the time I started. You know, I was like I said again, like working and then going to school, and I would give myself like one day out of the week every Friday. I would dedicate that time to go out and shoot, and I was just always like in a rush, trying to like I want to get the shot, I want to get the shot, I want to get the shot.
Gotcha.
I was like that, so and you know that wanting to hit spots all the time and then go to the crazy spots and hit the crazy
Hey,
spots.
nothing wrong with that, though.
Yeah,
There's
for
nothing wrong
sure.
with
There's
that.
nothing wrong with that, and I think that drove me. But yeah, I would just tell myself like, yo, like slow down and just enjoy learning and enjoy the process and enjoy like the friendships that you're making. You know, because yeah, we've been into a lot of crazy stuff. We've had a lot of fun, and I would just tell myself like, yeah, just enjoy that. You know, so.
So how are you enjoying that mirrorless, bro?
It's good. I just got it. It's crazy. It's so like electronic.
I like how you just texted me. Hey guys, it's like 1,300. Should I buy it? Never mind. I just bought it.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, what?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Because I was like thinking about doing it for a long time now. Just because like I've shot with like some of our friends like their mirrorless cameras, and I'm like, yeah, this is like crazy because just like the things that it can do and how technical it is and the functionality is really crazy. And I feel like I got to the point where I felt like the camera was holding me back. It was too slow for me, I felt like. So, like, and that's the thing about gear. I tell people, like, gear is not important, but once you start, if you feel like you're getting ahead of your camera and your camera's holding you back, then it's time to switch. And so that's how I felt now. So that's why I was like, yeah, it's time to get a new camera.
I think it's nice. think it's time for me to get a new camera.
Yeah, because do you feel that? Like, do you feel like your like, I don't know, like you feel like your camera is
I felt
slow
that with my
or-
Canon 3Ti. I
Oh, yeah.
honestly do not feel that with the 6D.
The 6D is a great camera though. It's
I
such
don't.
a solid camera.
I feel
So-
it with the Fujifilm though.
Yeah. Shout out to Mikey and Hyro. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just like you feel it. Like you just feel like there's something missing or like, so that's why I got it.
Man, thank you guys for tuning in to Chasing HTX podcast. This is Domscarter. You can actually find him on Instagram. And what else?
On Twitter too, it's at Domscarter. I don't use Twitter that much, but yeah, I'm on
So
there.
don't follow him on Twitter.
And then just check out my website. Books coming soon. And after this book, I'm gonna be focusing more on like getting into more art shows and museums, hopefully one day, and just dropping more books. So that's the next phase of my photography life.
Ooh, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Hey guys, if you have any questions, you can just DM us on Instagram at Enfi or at Domscarter.
This was fun though. I'm excited to hear everyone else you're gonna interview, all the homies. So
Well, I'm excited, bro. I got someone coming in, bro. He's been featured. He's a published model for Adidas.
oh wow, that's crazy.
And
Okay.
StockX.
Oh okay.
So
Dang.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we got a good lineup coming up, bro.
That's sick.
We got a good lineup.
Yeah.
Man, let me know how it sounds in your car, in your headphones, and wherever
Sounds
you're
great
listening to
here.
us. Follow us, subscribe. That actually helps a lot on our channel. And yeah, man, we got new mics, so let us know how it sounds. I'm excited. It sounds good on our end, so hopefully it sounds good on your end.
Yeah.
But thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in, man. I'll see you next time in the next episode.